Good morning, my tribe, my XRP Army, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're doing well today. Wanted to talk to you today about wars. Wars are financial transactions. They are the result of governments making bad decisions monetarily, piling up debt, and then finding a distraction for the debt in the form of war. Those bad people over there, those bad people over there, they're causing it to you. They're causing it to happen. The inflation is their fault. Never the fault of the government and the greedy people that caused it. Who wins in war? There are actually winners. You can say, I like to say there's nothing but losers because people die on both sides, and there's one side or the other, or both sides get their property completely destroyed, their children murdered. But the winners are the financiers. And who are the financiers? Usually international banking systems. Look at World War I, for example. Look this up on your own. This is very, very telling. World War II didn't just, World War I, neither of those two wars just happened. There was a lot of pressure built up that was let off in the form of war, and it was financial pressure. Of the belligerents during World War I, the primary belligerents were trying to increase their economic standing through empirical expansion. Some of these were not very productive. Let's say Germany in Africa and stuff. They borrowed and spent a lot of money to expand empire into certain areas, believing that they had to because their neighbors were doing it and their neighbors were benefiting financially from it, and so they were falling behind. So they went into debt and spent money they didn't have to expand their empire into areas that they felt they could take and that they would be able to exploit in the form of extracting minerals and taxing the people. It didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. In a lot of those instances, those empires became negatives. It cost more to maintain them than what they were able to extract. So they thought, hey, well, let's just pack up our stuff, go home and lick our wounds and figure something else out. No, they doubled down on it. Push harder. We need more empire, which led to more debt because they kept making bad decisions. And so those tensions rose. And World War I was not started because some dude in Macedonia got himself offed. No, in Sarajevo, which is in Macedonia. It started over finances and who owed who money and could not repay. Those tensions built up. And then once the first shot was fired, that gave the excuse to go ahead and try to pay off your debts through a different means. JP Morgan saw an opportunity, and he financed a whole bunch of the belligerents, particularly on the Allied side, through war bonds. And I believe he raised, what was it, $550 million, or maybe it was $1.5 billion. I don't remember exact number. I think he primarily 5 rich families, not countries, 5 rich families got together, made up this pool of money, and then allowed France and England primarily to borrow from that pool of money. But they also set up a system by which every one of those dollars had to run through their corporations, their system. When France ordered rifles, or ammunition, it had to go through a JP Morgan company. The order was filled through JP Morgan, thereby extracting more of it back to themselves. Does anyone know how long it took for the victors to pay off those loans? Anyone? France finished paying off their World War I loan in 2009. Think about that for a little bit. How long their nation was under that weight. I believe England, Great Britain, paid off their loan in 2006 from World War I. JP Morgan and that group, which may be Chase now, have been getting paid by France and England for almost a century for a war that lasted a few years, cost millions of lives, caused untold grief and destruction. And all for what? Because governments had made bad choices and built up incredible amounts of debt that the people couldn't afford to pay and eat. This is the cycle of wars. The same thing happened in World War II. It was over empire. Japan was expanding its empire because it didn't have indigenous resources. So it was the Dutch East Indias. They wanted the oil from there. They wanted Chinese minerals. So they were in there. And we withheld oil from them. Well, they were industrializing, but they had no oil locally. So what do? We knew exactly what they were going to do, and that's what we wanted. We wanted into World War II. Not we, not the citizens. The citizens didn't want it. The power structure wanted it because they owned all the infrastructure and they were going to hold the debt. Excuse me a moment. The same thing happened in Vietnam. Johnson, the president, he went into the White House with about assets equaling $430,000 between him and his wife. His wife I don't remember what she did, but she owned some company or did something that was quite lucrative, and he was just a politician. When he left, he was worth over $13.8 million. All from the Vietnam War, because he had his hands and owned stocks in the companies that profited from that war. Look at the finances of wars and you'll understand the reasons why wars happen. Why do I say this? Because another major war is coming. It is. And it will probably be with China. Venezuela might be a little distraction, and they'll have excuses for it. Maybe Iran, because it benefits someone else over in that area. But war is coming. The big war. The big war with China. We're going to go to war with China. China knows they're going to war with the United States. They've said it for decades, that they plan on it. So what do? You position yourself and your family to not be devastated by this. So why do I say all this? Well, I don't know. Because it's so predictable. It's so out in the open if you just look at it. Folks, educate yourselves. Get a financial education. Learn from history. It's all right there. It's out there in the open. With the information today, there's no reason why you can't know it. Just ask Grok. Who benefited financially from World War I? Ask ChatGPT. I don't like ChatGPT. It is way too woke. Grok seems to be less biased. But these things are happening. Great events are coming. And they don't just happen. They are orchestrated. They are coordinated. They are moved into that direction. And I hope you learn something. I hope you educate yourself. I hope this prompts you, wakes you up, to encourages you to look into history. History is fascinating, and it just simply repeats and it repeats and it repeats. God bless you all. Take care. And I'm out. Oh, I'm also, stick around. There's going to be a public service announcement. I'm going to tack my short onto here because it's important, because great events happen and you need to be prepared for it so you don't get run over by it. God bless. I'm out. Good morning, my tribe, my XRP Army, everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're doing well. This is another public service announcement. You have 1 day left before the EBT cards run out. SNAP, food stamps, whatever you want to call it. And even if a rabbit is pulled out of the hat at the last minute and it is sent out even late, let's say, there is still a pretty big possibility that there's enough momentum behind this, or enough energy on the side of those who wish to be opportunists and get themselves a new TV, that there will be rioting, destruction of private property in the form of big screen TV places like Best Buy, Walmart, not for the food, but for shoes and things like that. If the EBT cards come out, they go, great, but I still need a TV, and we have all this energy built up behind it, so let's just go ahead and do it for that reason. There's a good possibility of that. Hunger is an incredible motivator to people. And if the EBT, SNAP, I don't want to call them benefits, handouts, entitlements, enabling people to not do what they should do and get a job and be responsible. There are people who go on it for a period of time because of circumstances, and that's what it's there for, not to live off of the decades-long people who stay on it forever and don't become a good participant in society. Please be aware that this could happen and prepare yourself for it. It's no joke. It happens very quickly, so there is still a great opportunity to prepare for it. You have time. Go out today, do your shopping for the next 2 weeks, and you should be okay. Heed this warning. Heed this warning. That is life advice. God bless y'all. Take care, and I'm out.